Hey, welcome to Chicago High School Football Legends. My name is Bernard Muhammad. Alongside me is Keith Plank Flournoy. Man, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Legends podcast. Looking forward to having a good conversation with you all on another Chicago legend.
Yes. Hey, this is episode number 7. So far on the show, we had Sydney Muhammad from Limblom. We had a couple of Limblom people. Let me run them down real quick. Andre Kellen. We had Johnny Cole, David Bird. We had Carl. I can't think of Carl's last name. He's a former football player for Simeon, and also he was an assistant coach for Simeon.
Was it
And
William?
pardon me,
Carl William?
Carl
Was it
Wentz.
Carl?
That's his name. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And we had Ed Junkins from Julian. Man, you know, Julian was such a powerhouse in the day, and they're still doing well. I mean, but Julian was kicking butt, and we both, you and I played for Limblom, but we never got a chance to play against Julian. Only way we would have played them, we would have had to meet them in a playoff or something. Hey, but what's your first thoughts on Julian before we bring our guests on tonight? The Honorable Judge Carl Boyd.
Well, first thought on Julian is a legacy of excellence. As a matter of fact, when I was in grammar school, I was out at Brennan on 114th and Eggleston. I wanted to go to Julian. Actually, Julian was my first choice. However, they had us go through a lottery system. So I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to be able to get to Julian. So I ended up going to Lindblom instead. But one of the first thoughts about Julian was the legacy that they actually were able to create very quickly. I think Julian opened in like 75, 76. So by the time they actually we got to the 78 and went ahead and joined the public league, Julian came in like gangbusters and they pretty much took over. That, and I also remember all of the great nicknames that they had at Julian. A lot of times that is actually something that actually adds to that legend. So I'm thinking about Physique, Crazy Horse, Super Toe. You knew these guys and their names kind of spoke out before you ever actually saw them. So that was definitely a great thing.
Yes, I remember Matt McGill was on that team. WVON was on that
Yep.
team. And one thing I remember, and I'll bring our guests on in a few seconds, was it was going into our junior season, and Sydney had went to Sydney, who's our first guest, who was a star running back at Limblom. He said, "Man, we need to go to one of Julian's game. I was at this camp at Northwestern." And he's like, "Man, there's this one guy that was in the camp, paid for Julian, named Carl Boyd." He was like, "Man, that guy is something else." He was like, "Man, we was competing for one award. I think he said it was a hustle award or something." But he was like, "Man, we got to go." He said, "Man, look, at some point this season, we got to go see this guy." And I remember us going to see Robeson versus Julian, which was the game. So with no further ado, let's bring our guests on. Brother Carl, how you doing, Honorable Judge Carl?
I'm excited to be here with you two gentlemen. You gentlemen are legends in your own right. Thank you so much. It's just a pleasure to be on your show and to be considered a legend here in my hometown, Chicago. I'm excited. You've had some great guests on before me, and I'm just happy to be in the same space with those gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Hey, thank you very
Absolutely.
much. You know, Carl is a friend of mine's at Plank. You know, so if I don't call him Judge a few times, hey, anybody out there, don't take it as a form of disrespect.
No disrespect, Brother Bernard.
He also
You're my brother.
of mine.
Yes, sir.
Man, Carl, okay, what I want to get into first, I mean, man, you know what? When I was doing my research on you, brother, man, you know what? You are, and I know you're a humble brother, man. You are the epitome of winning. If that's the word. I mean, I was going through some of your resume and stuff, man. And if I got this right, this brother made the varsity as a freshman. You know, he don't have a story like me where I didn't make the Fossa 2 years in a row. Plank did make the Fossa. This brother made the varsity as a freshman. He won a championship every year he was in high school, except the 1 year that our team went, which is interesting. The year our team went, they actually were in the state, I believe, playing.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. And we ended up facing Robeson. So this brother won a city championship 1979, 1980, 1982.
82. Yes. That's correct.
Man,
Three city championships. Well, it was a remarkable season in my life. I was surrounded by some phenomenal players. You mentioned some of those great names like a Crazy Horse. We had DT, we had Omar, we had Slingshot. Everybody, we had Super Toe. Everybody had a name, and those names really stood for their character. I believe these were young men with a lot of integrity, a lot of grit, a lot of determination, and a lot of drive. Me being a freshman on the varsity football program, I studied under these gentlemen, and I watched their attitude, their demeanor, their character throughout the building, and it was a legacy that I had to be a part of, and a tradition that I had to uphold. So my teammates and I, in my sophomore, my junior, as well as my senior year, our goal was to live up to the legacy and the reputation and the foundation that was laid before us. So I was just a part of a great program. We had some phenomenal coaches. We had two Coach Smiths. We had Coach J.W. Smith and a little Coach Will Smith. And J-Dub, rest in peace, was our head coach, and Will Smith was our assistant coach. And he is still my friend to this very day.
Okay.
Great friend to this very day.
Hey, I know one of your guests actually sent me a note saying 1979 to 83. I know that's correct as far as years in school, but I was reciting the football season. So the football season,
you are correct.
Graduate 83 was 82. The fall.
Correct. That was our senior year 82 for the city championship.
For the city championship, correct. Yeah. So and also for some of Carl's guests, I ran out of space of letting some of y'all on because I only could let 10 people on. So you could flip over to YouTube if you're out there waiting and nobody has clicked. Let's go to YouTube and put in a search Chicago High School Football Legends Carl Boyd, and it'll come up and you'll still be able to watch. It may be a slight delay because of the broadcast. They usually run like a 2 or 3 second delay. Okay. Hey, Plank, did you have something?
You know, I got to say some things to this brother. First of all, I'm honored by your presence. You're a friend, a brother. I've known you for a number of years, and your life is an epitome of the ideals that life is a never-ending series of accomplishments. That's exactly what I think about when I see you. I knew you in high school from Legend. I didn't actually ever get to meet you. First time I met you, we were both members of Omega Psi Phi. We met at a party. I looked at you, you looked at me, and we hopped the rest of the doggone night. So,
the rest was history.
Absolutely.
Right on, Brother Plank.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're here.
Well, as you gentlemen know, I'm a proud member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And we go from victory to victory, gentlemen. We make no mistakes about it. We are very intentional about how we live our life. And that's what football really is, just a game of life. It's best on best every play. And I don't try to win the game of life. I just try to win the next play. And if I have some challenges at some point in my life, I just get up, brush myself off, and get ready for the next play. And that's my motto. I don't try to win the game. I only need to win the next play. And if I consistently have that attitude about winning and being successful at the next play, whatever it may be in my life, whatever stage I'm in, whether it's academics, whether it's employment, in my family life, my home life, I just try to win the next play, gentlemen. And we all get knocked down, we get tackled, we get deterred, we get distracted, but you got to get back up and keep your head in the game and keep moving forward. And that's what my life is about.
Man, that's great advice. Hey, Carl, I want to send a message to some of your friends and family that's on. Any of them who want to come on the air, express themselves throughout the program, just send a message in the private chat. You'll see, and then that way I bring y'all on. I see the Honorable Steve Watkins is out there waiting. I
That's
see
my
his son
another
Taylor
one of our
out
frat brothers.
there,
Yes, sir.
Sherrod Woods. I see a Kevin out there. I don't know if that's physique. But it's a
Kevin
couple.
Murray.
That's physique.
Hey, let's bring this up right quick, man. This here is very impressive. We have some of it I mentioned earlier. The Honorable Judge Carl B. Boyd. That's B is your middle initial, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And hold on. I got a call. I think it's Sydney want to say something to you. Hey, what's up, Sid? You want to say something to Carl?
Hey, I'd love to talk to Carl quickly. I know you all have a lot to cover, man. I just want to make sure I called in and say hi to my brother.
Brother Sidney, good to hear your voice, man.
Hey,
You
what's
are
going on, brother Carl? Hey,
you
look,
are
I
an
know you
inspiration.
all have a lot to get to. Just want to say, when I first saw you at Northwestern's football camp, I believe it was 1981.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you, man. I was like, this guy's a junior like me, and he has tremendous talent. And let me just say, there have been 3 high school running backs from Chicago that have been legends to me down through the years. My favorite. One was a guy named Roger Threat from Robeson, late 70s. The other one was a brother named Russell something from Dunbar. I think somewhere around 1999, 2000.
Rocky Harvey.
Rocky Harvey.
Okay.
He's coming on next week.
Oh, great.
Uh-huh.
And the other would be Carl Boyd. And you can ask Bernard. My favorite running back from Chicago has always been Carl Boyd.
Yes.
Look, man, I know we were contemporaries in terms of when we went to school, but I'm telling you, man, your talent was so great that you always been my favorite running back. And hey, man, God bless you, and I'm happy to see you on the show. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but just want you to know I was thinking about you, man, and you're looking great. And hey, I'm going to let you guys go ahead and get back to what you're doing. Thanks a lot, brother Carl.
Thank you, brother Sidney. I'm a reflection of you, man. Thank you so much. We had fun at Northwestern, by the way.
Yes. Hey, so let me get through this real quick, man. Hey, this brother, the weight I found he was listed at was 165, 5'6". I have y'all just, I think it was 79. Y'all played. Oh, your senior year, y'all beat Curie 32.
I think it was Curie for the championship. Yes,
the championship. So I have y'all in prep bowl games against Joliet Catholic in 1979, Brother Rice in 1980, and Gordon Tech in 82.
That's correct.
And I see Coach JW over there. Man, that's amazing. I say, brother, you always been winning, man. It doesn't say Julian win only. It said, oh boy.
I think the papers were quite kind to me in high school. We had some greats like Clyde Travis and Kenny McReynolds helping support and push at high school athletics from the CPS perspective, and those gentlemen were very instrumental in helping to elevate the CPS sports and push a lot of us into the college ranks. But for those gentlemen being so kind with the ink, Taylor Bell from the Sun-Times, but for those gentlemen being so kind to us in high school during the 70s and 80s, I'm not certain any of us would have gotten the notoriety and the publicity that we all received. But the 80s were very kind to us. And I'm going to say that mildly and humbly in terms of them advertising and publicizing the great athletes that we had throughout the entire CPS system.
Okay. Hey, I see Russell Baker. He went to Lemblone. He said, "Tell you what's up." He's was in the family with your lineman Gerald Best from college.
My LB.
Yep, yep.
That's right.
Drill
So,
best,
Carl,
another
let's see,
CPS great.
how did you get into football? I mean, what was your first memory of playing football?
I began my football career probably on my father's lap, as some of us did. My father loved the Bears, and I grew to love the Bears. His favorite running back outside of Gale Sayers was Walter Payton. And I was fortunate to meet Walter Payton in person and learn that he and I shared the same birthday. And as great as he was, I wanted to be even better. And so my first glimpse at organized sports was on the block, May Street. We were called the May Street Bombers, Bombers, and we never lost a game. The other children on the block, though, had older brothers and sisters. I had no older brothers. As young as I was, I had to basically fend for myself and learn to protect myself as a young man playing football on the block back on May Street, where I grew up in the Morgan Park area. So I believe that I had to hone my skills and learn at a very rapid pace, or I might suffer some catastrophic injuries. And so that's how I got my start, basically. One of my first coaches on back on the block was my sister. She was her name was Cookie. She was our football coach. I don't know if she knew much about football, but we sure did. And so from there, that's how my football career began.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Carl, you and I about the same height, probably same stature. I don't know if you felt the pressure like I did. I always felt, because of my stature, that I knew I had to work harder as far as in football, right? That
Yes.
I had to have something unique that I did in order to get the ball. And my first thing in my neighborhood was just being courageous, right? Just
That's
like
right.
everybody wanted to hit, but nobody wanted to be tackled. So
Right.
I just figured, just give me the ball, because long as I could play, just give me the ball. I mean, I didn't want to be on the sideline, so I had knew nothing about running. I just watched Walter Payton, and they said, give me the ball. So I don't know if that was, since you mentioned Walter Payton, was that one of your experiences as well? Just
Absolutely. Well, again, football is a game of life, and it's about your mindset, Brother Bernard. And as you mentioned, you and I are about the same stature, but I look at the lion that's in the jungle. The lion is not he's the king of the jungle. But the lion is not the tallest. That would probably be the giraffe. He's not the largest. That might be an elephant or a rhinoceros. He's not the fastest. That would be the gazelle, right? Or the cheetah. And but yet everybody says that the lion is the king of the jungle. Why is the lion the king of the jungle? Because he believes he's the king of the jungle. Nobody has told him anything different. And so when I played football, I was unaware that I was diminutive or small in stature, because I didn't think I was small. I thought I was rather large, to be honest with you. And my size really didn't become a factor or impact me at any point in my career. However, I did notice that once I ascended to the college ranks, I was the smallest running back of the running back corps. And I noticed that the athletic trainers appeared to be a lot larger than I was in stature. So it did occur to me that the papers were very generous in stating I was 165 pounds when I played, when actually I was only 145 pounds.
Okay.
When I played football in high school. And so as I matriculated into college, the balance or our football program used to work out in the weight room only for the football players. But in order to get into the weight room, you had to warm up with 225 pounds on the bench press. Well, needless to say, I couldn't bench press 225 pounds at 18 years old and 145 pounds. But by the spring of my freshman year, I was in the 225 club.
Okay.
And and what it's really about, gentlemen, if I could share something with the members of your audience, it's about your level of determination. The papers may say a person is 6 feet tall or 250 pounds, but it comes down to what's in your heart, because size doesn't matter, the height doesn't matter, the speed doesn't matter. It's what's in your heart and how bad do you want it. There's some people want it, and some of us just want it more. And I happen to be a little bit more hungry, a little bit more thirsty, a little bit more aggressive than some of the people who played in my positions. There's some people who played running back, but they were renting the position. In my mindset, Brother Bernard and Brother Plank, I owned it. And there's a difference between when you rent an item and when you own it. Well, I felt as though I owned the position of running back on whatever team I played. It belonged to me and to me alone. And I was determined to prove that I was correct in my assumption. And that's how I played the game.
Man, Brother Carl, that is awesome, man. I mean, I think even though we didn't know each other, we had a few things that was kind of parallel. I mean, real quick, I just remember when I tried out for the varsity my junior year, even though I didn't make Farsaw. And I can remember at one point I was given out starting opportunity to be on defense. And I told the coach I wanted to be on offense. And he said, well, you know, it's about like 6 or 7 guys ahead of you. And I said, that's okay, coach. And he was like, if you over here, you'll probably be starting. You over there, you got 6 or 7 guys. I said, coach, I'll be starting before the year's over.
How about that? And is that what happened?
That's what happened. By the time we got to the playoff, I was starting. And my first initial start was the city championship that year.
How about that?
That's something. Hey, I want to bring
that's amazing, Bernard.
I want to bring in Sherrod, bring him online for a minute. I know he's been there for a minute. See what he got to say. Hey, what's up, Sherrod?
Hey, what's going on, Tim? Hey, look, man. Hey, I'm just proud to be amongst the stars tonight.
Brother Sherrod. Good to see you, sir.
Hey, super proud and super humble to know you, Brother Carl. And also super proud to be a member of this great fraternity, Omega Psi Phi.
Indeed.
You know, it definitely brings together the best of us.
Sure it does.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, brother.
Thank you, Brother Sherrod.
I'm gonna put you backstage again. Okay.
Thank you. What you find is that I think that if you look among the ranks of the men of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, we are all a reflection of each other. I believe we are all hardworking. We are very conscientious. We're very determined group of men in all that we do. So it's not a surprise, Brother Plank, that I'm on the program with you. I'm not surprised to be in the company of Brother Bernard or Sidney or Sherrod. Not at all. Not at all, because this is who we are. We are a men of similar mindset, similar goals, similar ambitions. And we just united under the umbrella of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And I'm so proud to be a part of this organization, as I was proud to be a Jaguar, as I was proud to be a Panther, and I was proud to be a May Street Bomber.
Okay. Hey, Plank, did you have anything I'm gonna bring up some more of his information? You got a question, a comment?
Yeah, I did have a question for him that I want to make sure I'll go ahead and pose to him. Because of Julian's, all of the folklore and the legendary status of Julian, I got to knowing people by their nicknames. So I thought it was interesting that I never heard of your nickname or anything like that. If you had one, your nickname was your real name. And I was like, okay, this guy must be bringing something different, because they don't even have a persona. Did you have a nickname when you were in school?
Mine was CB, Too Sweet, Cool Breeze, Cold Blooded Carl Boyd. But my friends just called me CB, and it meant Cool Breeze. My friend Larry Anderson was one of the linemen. He said CB stood for Cool Breeze. He said because after he threw his last block, all he felt was a cool breeze blowing past him, and he said he knew it was me, so he started calling me CB.
Oh man, that's smooth.
And so those who know, it just happened to be my initials, CB Boyd, but CB stands for Cool Breeze.
Okay. Hey, so let's explore a little bit of your high school career. Thanks to all those who just tuned in. You're watching Chicago High School Football Legends. And our guest tonight is none other than the Honorable Judge Carl B. Boyd. Hey, Carl, I found a few little articles to go over. What we have here. Okay, we have one from 81 and 82. I have 81 where this is the all city selection where you are. I know it's a little blurry for some of our readers, but it shows you as one of the running backs. And you know what? Hey, Plankett has one of our college classmate, Maurice.
Maurice Moore, wide
How about
receiver
that?
Moore.
Yeah,
He got 0 catches against us, by the way.
I'm trying to expand.
He's a Phi Beta Sigma.
No, he's a Kappa.
Oh, he Kappa. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Then we got 82.
Okay.
And then 82, we have this is not the end of the season. This is a snapshot at some point in the season where if you look over to, I guess the viewers, it'll be over to their left. They'll see you down in the which division is that? That's the
South section.
South section.
Red South.
Red South. You see you leading the pack. Carboy Julian. Man. Those are some memories, brother. Hold on, let's go to the next page. Oh no, I come back to your college career. We're gonna talk about high school a little bit. Now, how was that rivalry between you guys and Julian? I mean, you guys and Robeson. What was that like?
The Robeson's coach and Robeson coach is Roy Curry.
Yes.
And J.W. Smith, the Julian football coach, my head coach, they were very good friends. We often scrimmaged against Robeson some days, during the preseason, but the football games were different. We played the very first Sunday football game in public school history on a Sunday at Gately Stadium. The temperature on the field exceeded 110 degrees. It was a very hot day. I was a sophomore that year. I was starting varsity. I started off at a freshman homecoming game as a freshman. I didn't even know what homecoming was. But Bernard, come from a parochial school over to a public school. But nevertheless, we played Robeson, and I believe we got down to the fourth quarter, and the score was tied at 20-20. J.W. Smith and Coach Roy Curry met on the 50. We both looked, Robeson never had many players. They may have had 20 players at best. We had about 40, 45 players. At the end of the fourth quarter, tied 20-20, J.W. Smith and Roy Curry met at the 50-yard line. They shook hands and called it a day. The game ended in a tie. Wow. CPS was quite upset because of the decision of the coaches to end at a tie, but I believe we were plagued with injuries. In that game, I had broke my left ankle, and Robeson likewise had suffered some injuries with a few of his players. The heat, combination of the injuries, all caused us to cause the coaches to call it a draw. But the legacy and the tradition and the history from that game lingered on. I mean, Robeson Julian games continued from 1982, I believe, well into the 2000s. And as I don't know if you're aware, but all of our preseason games, that was a preseason game. All of our preseason openers always featured Robeson and Julian from 1982 into the 2000s. So it's over a 20-year history of those teams competing against each other. And what I would love to say is that the young men at Robeson, they're a great group of men grown to develop. I've coached with some of the former Robeson players, and they are a class act all the way, 100%.
Okay, yeah. So you were playing against Touche, Mickey Pruitt. Yeah, Jimmy Spraggins is his real name.
Yes.
Fulgham.
Yes. All
Collins.
Fabre, all the greats.
Yeah. So that's how legendary it is, even though that was close to
That was
40
30,
years,
40
40
years ago.
years ago, that
Almost
those
40
players,
years.
some of them I didn't even know them personally, but I knew who their names were.
Legends.
Like I knew who you were.
Legends.
And hey, I'm gonna bring on Clyde Travis for a second, if he's okay with coming on. Hey, Clyde, how's it going, man?
I'm well. I'm well. How are you guys?
I'm doing good,
Good.
man. Hey, go and share some of your thoughts on Judge Carl Boyd.
Well, I can tell you, if I had to walk down the street back to back with somebody, I'm walking with Carl. Trust me. I never forget. I covered prep sports, as you all know, for almost 36 years, 37 years. And I have my list. And when it comes to some of the most dynamic just players that I've ever come across, Carl was right there in my top 10.
Thank you, Clyde.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, I remember when I first saw him, because I looked at him and I said, it's something special. You know, he just played mean and he was little. So I said, you got a guy who's probably just a buck 40 soaking wet, and he just looked for contact. You know, he had a vicious streak about him, didn't say anything to anybody, but when he came, he just exploded. And then all of a sudden, you know, he just looked, you know, he just had an athletic gait that was just different. If you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. It's just when he stepped on there, he just exuded that confidence, and he just played with a chip on his shoulder. And I just kind of endeared myself to him. I followed his career on, and like I said, when it's in my top 10, Carl, I have to put in my top 5. I've always followed him. I've always admired him. I thought he was a class act. He's done so much for the community. I have my wall of fame that I've had up there in each sport that I've had an opportunity to be fortunate enough to cover so many guys, and he's par excellence when it comes to that.
Thank you so much, Clyde.
That's beautiful, and this is the purpose of this program, Chicago High School Football Legends, is to give some of these players their flowers, you know, and what they meant to other people's high school experience. Because a lot of when I started talking to some of my classmates, I didn't know it at the time. I'm just playing football, right? You're just playing football, but it's a reverence that those people that went to Julian have for you, because you made their high school experience enjoyable, right? Where that's a memory that they can say, we was a winner. We achieved these things. And a lot of time when you look at what goes on now, a lot of the younger people, they doubt things if it's not on video. They be like, if it ain't on video, it didn't happen. So that was one of the things that drove this program. Like, man, let's get our stories on video, right? I may not have video of the game, but we have people to testify to what they witnessed on those days, man. And I remember, Carl, it wasn't until I met you when you started playing for University of Northern Iowa. Man, I thought when I saw you in high school, man, you was about 6 feet tall. When I saw you on the field. When you came to the stadium and talked to us, I said, man, I'm the same height.
Yeah, well, I always said he may have been short, but he wasn't short in that left shirt pocket. And that's all that matters. And like I said, I covered games. You know, I've been very fortunate, guys. And I came to Chicago almost for a drive-by. I just driving through, and I just stopped. I stopped at the City News Bureau, and just said, "Well, I'm here. Let me just fill out an application." And I got hired on the spot. I tried to leave, but I tell you, one of the things very quickly that just endeared me to Chicago forever. First of all, 3 of my closest friends to this day, well, 2 of them are still alive, and that's Roy Curry. Well, I said one of them is alive. I'm sorry, Roy Curry is still here with us, but Al Scott and the great Dr. J.W. Smith are gone. But they were 3 of the class acts, and they all were different kind of guys, but they played. They coached with a tenacity. Their players played with a tenacity. It was a rivalry that you couldn't believe. And I remember when I first started really covering, I was coming down Vincennes from 103rd, And the Julian band was coming one way, and the Simeon band was coming the other way.
Ooh.
And I remember them I remember when they said you're gonna be covering high school sports. I said, oh no, I didn't come here for that, But I said, I'm covering the Bulls, man. I'm covering the Bears, not high school sports. And when I saw that they marched from 103rd and Vincennes all the way to Gately Stadium, just traffic stopped. I said, this is like it was when I was in college.
Mm.
And sometimes you find your calling. And 40 years later, man, I stayed. I hope I left an impact. Judging from guys like Carl and some of the things that they said to me positively have made me feel that I did do the job I was supposed to do. And
Amen. Brother Clyde, if I might, I believe that you found your purpose and your calling in high school sports. And earlier, I don't know if you were present, but I did want to acknowledge and give you thanks for assisting people like myself. And it was because of your ink, your press, your publicity that myself and other individuals similarly situated were able to even go to college. Wow. So I want to thank you. Man. And you talked about the people marching from Julian, marching from Vincennes all the way down to Cottage Grove, well over 2 or 3 miles.
Yeah.
When I played the game, I didn't necessarily play only for myself. I knew that there was a tremendous amount of support behind me and my program and our football team. That support came from people like yourself, Clyde. It came from the coaches who work with us. It came from other individuals on our football program, as well as the students and the staff at our school. And so when I played the game, I wasn't just playing for me. It wasn't about Carl Boyd. It was about the Julian legacy, the Julian program, the Julian athletics. I knew that we were representatives of our high school. And as good as we were in football, that's how good we were in the pom-pom. That's how good our flag girls was. That's how good our cheerleaders were. That's how good our band was. That's how good our teachers were. I felt that way about our school. I came from a winning program because I had a winning mindset. Dr. Oliver, Dr. Smith, Mr. Harris, Mr. Brister, Mr. Bender, all of those men in our school were very deliberate and intentional about what they shared with us and what they told us and what the level of expectation was. And so I was trying to live up to the expectation that was set for us. And it seems, funny thing is, no matter if we won the game by 10 or 20 or 30 points, it seems as though that was not good enough for Coach Smith. He felt that every week we could do better. And so when I played, gentlemen, I never rested. Anytime you get comfortable in your seat, something is wrong. I always made myself uncomfortable. We would play a game on a Saturday. Sunday morning, I would wake up and I would jog 3 miles. Nobody knew about that because it's not what you do in the public that matters so much. It's what you do in private. And so I went into my own closet and I had to work myself to better myself. I had to train myself. I had to challenge myself. And in life, gentlemen, this game of football has taught me always to challenge myself. I can always do better, regardless whether I'm at work or I'm at home, wherever I find myself, we can always do better.
Okay.
And so I'm thankful to people like Clyde, thankful to Bernard and Brother Plank for sharing this platform with me tonight and reminding me of when we were kings, because we were all kings together.
Well, let me interject one more point, and I'll let you guys have it from here.
Okay.
And we're talking about Carl, somebody that we do know, and I've never really had the pleasure of meeting you guys and things of that nature. But you all are some of the residue of what we're talking about. I covered so many games. I did so many things that during that particular time that the pleasure that I get out of it is the guys like Carl who are making, guys like yourself who just use this as a springboard for something you want to do later on in life. And one of the things that we are missing right now in this day and age is the fact these rivalries build character. You know, coaches are supposed to be a springboard into that next step that you take with the next coach or the next endeavor that you embark on. Right now, we don't have those same leaders. We don't have the same
Uh-oh. You went on mute somehow.
Looks like he has some network problems.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Okay. So I'm gonna bring them off, and if you want to come in back on later. Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. At Gately Stadium, I remember all of us, not the students, but me, JW, Roy Curry, Lonnie Williams, Terry Lewis. We almost got thrown out of Gately Stadium because we were having so much. we were having so much, fun, man. I mean, this is what it's all about. Some kind of way. I don't mean to take this over. Some kind of way, you guys have a great platform. I wish you continued success, and you keep bringing on guys like Carl. Then I'm telling you, you're going in the right direction. If I can ever assist and help you any kind of way down the line, Carl knows how to get in touch with me. And
okay,
I hope I can.
Is the name.
All right.
All
right. Thank you very much, brother. All right.
No problem.
Okay. Hey, Carl. We had a comment from. I don't see the first name. I believe it's the last name. It's Little.
Yes.
A Little.
Yes.
Okay. It said, "Thank you, CB, for helping to make my time at Julian good. Told you, fun, memorable, and exciting. My husband and I are happy to call you a friend. Hey, I want to bring up somebody that
Annette Little. Yes, Annette and Kevin Little, good friends of ours.
Who is this, brother?
In the photograph?
Yes.
Oh, that's the great Dr. J.W. Smith, my mentor.
Yes, sir. Yeah, hey, I'm looking at it. Look like y'all at a game at maybe Gately.
Absolutely.
Stadium.
That's Gately Stadium. It's probably one of the bowl games, one of those games between Julian and Robeson during the preseason.
Okay.
This is after I graduated from law school and JW. That's a great photo.
Yes.
Makes me smile.
I always heard so many great things about people who played for him, that he was a tough man, but man, it was always like admiration and love that his former players expressed about him. I mean, I get a little envy of it because unfortunately, I had two coaches in my time, so I never really grown at it, that type of relationship, because one guy, he got to the championship, retired, then we had another coach, and so didn't grow that type of relationship, man. But man, to see him supporting you later on in life and your successful endeavors, that's a beautiful thing. But hey, let me go. Hey, go ahead, Plank.
J.W. Smith was a visionary. He spoke of we used to play Catholic schools, and we were not very successful. I asked Coach in probably 1980, Coach, why is it that we are not successful in playing these schools? He told me in probably 1980 that they began playing the game of football in 5th and 6th grade. He said, when we develop a 5th or 6th grade program, we can compete against the Catholic League. Well, I believe the year may have been around 2000, 2001, after I graduated from law school, came back and became a lawyer. I received a call from J.W. Smith. He was he was head of the CPS athletic program. And he was beginning a elementary football program and asked me whether I wanted to be one of the coaches. So myself, along with Coach Will Smith was the director and head coach of our program, and I served as a position coach and coordinator in the program. Then when Will matriculated on into CPS security, I became the director and head coach of the Raiders elementary football program. And I coached there for 10 years. The point was that Dr. J.W. Smith was very deliberate about bringing football to the elementary programs here at CPS. He did that. And because of his efforts, working with Paul Vallis, bringing elementary football program to CPS, we were able to compete when Phillips won the state championship, being very successful. A lot of great things happened as a result of J.W. Smith's vision for the elementary football program being introduced into CPS sports. Under the umbrella. We were very fortunate to get a very large contribution from Howard Griffith. Howard Griffith is a Julian Jaguar player, wrote a big check to CPS to help fund and support the elementary program. Another great player from Julian High School was Howard Griffith. But my point is that J.W. Smith exercised tough love. Every blue moon, you would see him chuckle or smile, and I never seen him smile or chuckle during a football game. It was hey, listen, on our bus going to the football game, you couldn't even talk. There was the bus ride to the game was silent, and if you lost, which we very rarely did, but if you lost, the ride home was silent, and if you won, you couldn't talk too loud. There was not too much celebrating. Because J-Dub said that let the scoreboard do the talking. Let your game talk for you. Don't you talk for yourself. Don't brag too loud. Don't talk too loud. Don't brag too long.
Okay. I'm gonna get to Latanya and I'm gonna get to your son Taylor. Hey, let me bring this up right here. Let's go on to your college career. I mean, because this is just as amazing as your high school career. Hold on, we got a couple of comments out here, Carl. I want to share with you from some of the viewers out there. Thank you for tuning in to Chicago High School Football Legends. Andre Sailors from Bradley. What's up, Dre?
What's up, Dre?
Yep, he said, "What's up? You and I, finest." Little Bo.
Wow, Dre. Yes, another good brother.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, matter of fact, he has his legal. He has
a great legal career. Firm. I believe he's in Florida now.
He's in Florida now, okay? Because I know he was in Atlanta for a while.
Yes.
Okay.
Phenomenal lawyer in Florida. Okay. Andre said.
Man, look what we got here. I'm gonna blow it up on my screen. Your college career. I just put some highlights. I mean, I know you achieved more than this, but these are some of the highlights. I have you in 1985. You rushed for 1,258 yards. 17 TDs, which added up to 116 points, which include, I guess, some 2-point conversions. 1987, 1,223 rushing yards. You was Kodak first team, second team All-American selection. Named to Gateway Conference All-Decade Player. 1987, Gateway Offensive Player of the Year. 1987. Outstanding Young Man of America. And brother, I told you we had some similarities. 1987, I was named to Outstanding Young Man of America as well.
Outstanding.
All right.
Way to go, brother.
I said, hold on, we achieved this the same year.
That's nice. Very nice.
You know, and then also I wanted to point out here is Carl was inducted into University of Northern Iowa's Hall of Fame in 1998. Man, what was that experience like as far as playing college ball? I remember we went to watch you play Western, and we only went to the game because we were sucking those years. We only went just to go see you. We was like, man, Carl.
That's right.
And they ran this pitch off the edge, man. And all thing we saw was that I think y'all stripes were purple.
Purple and gold.
Yep,
purple and gold.
And I just remember you hit the sideline, man. All you saw was that purple stripe going down the sideline.
Cool breeze.
Like, man, we up there, they people in the crowd, they thinking we turncoats, right?
Right.
And we sit there cheering for you, right? Like, that's our frat brother. Yes.
College was an amazing experience. I went to a predominantly black, all black high school. No qualms about it, and proud to say that. When I reached college, it was a HWCU, historically white college and university. Very different experience. Fortunately, I was able to make the adjustment. After adjusting to the new culture presented in college, came the football culture, which is also quite political and can be. And I understand because there's a lot of money that is affiliated and associated with college athletics. Again, I'm 145 pounds, soaking wet, and I was competing against a young man I was a two-time All-State running back here out of Illinois. This young man was a blue chip All-American running back out of Iowa. And I said, oh my goodness, blue chip All-American. I was only All-State. And then I had to remember who I was and who I represented and where I come from. So we say everywhere you go, people want to know who you are and where you come from. So I tell them I'm from Julian, mighty Julian. And it occurred to me that in his city, he was all city, but he only played against 4 teams in his city. Okay. Well, in Chicago, we got the red division. We got Simeon, Robeson, Julian, Corliss, CVS. I mean, these are some tough teams. So his city it pales in comparison to our all city team. And then again, I had to remember I'm king of the jungle. I'm a lion. And with that mindset, I had to fight my way on to keep my scholarship. I received a full scholarship in college, but what people don't know is that in the 1980s, the scholarship was renewable every year. Yes, sir. So that means that you had to earn your scholarship every spring. You had to try out for the team again, regardless of how you may have done in the past. Well, at the end of spring ball, I was a freshman. At the end of the spring ball, I had worked my way up to the starting position at the University of Northern Iowa. And it really happened by way of an accident. And what happened is that you have the depth chart and you have the scout team. I was on the scout team, but I was not the major running back on the scout team. I was below the scout team's main running back. That means I wasn't even on the depth chart. My name wasn't even on the board when you come to practice. But the young man in front of me, though, every other play, he was having a problem with his shoe. His shoe kept coming off. They had to stop practice, let him tie his shoe. He had to go run to the sideline, get new shoestrings, whatever was going on. I said, if this guy come out one more time, I'm running in. And sure enough, he bent over and he waved to bring him another shoe. And as soon as he began running to the sideline, I sprinted out into the huddle and I told the quarterback, run the play. Now we're running the other team plays. And the quarterback hunched his shoulder. He says, okay, Carl, we'll see. Welcome to college is what he told me. They ran the play. I scored a touchdown. The defensive coach. Now I'm running against the first string defense. First string defense. This is a scout team. They show us a board of some plays. We don't even practice together, right? We running the other team plays. And the coach said, run it again. I strapped my helmet up a little tighter this time because I knew what was coming. And ran into the hole, reversed out, scored again. And at this time, I guess I caught the eye of my head coach, Daryl Mudra, in college. Mudra came down out of the stands and he was furious. And he said to the defense, and I have to soften my language, but he wanted to know what the problem was. And I told him, I said, Coach, unfortunately, this is the best you got. And your best is not good enough for me.
Ooh.
And that was that. I may have had a little air of confidence about myself when I was younger. I'm a little bit more humble now. But I told them in no uncertain terms that that's the best you got and the best is not good enough. And I felt as though they were not. They were good. There were some good players on the team. Don't get me wrong, but there were definitely some areas of weakness. and I just figured I could exploit the weakness to make us all stronger. And people are afraid to exploit weaknesses. We are afraid as men to say, this is an area where I need to be strengthened. I'm weak in this particular area of my life, and I need a Bernard to help make me strong. Iron sharpens iron. Mm-hmm. And I figured if my college team is to be as good as my high school team, we need to expose the weaknesses. We need to separate the wheat from the chaff and get to the strong players and get the best players on the field. And so that was my goal. And I figured I was not a captain, so I could not tell the team what to do. The only thing I could do, gentlemen, is lead by example. Mm-hmm. And so I showed them what hard work, what motivation, what persistence, what tenacity, what determination, what that result gets you. And by my junior year, I was captain of the football team. Man. And our coach in college was very diplomatic, and it was kind of unique because what he did is he asked the players to vote for who they thought should be a captain. I voted for everybody but myself. I voted for the quarterback. I voted for the linebacker. I voted for the cornerback. I voted for everybody in the skill positions who I knew could help our team. And the coach said, this is the first. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what happened? Right? There must be a tie. He said, Carl Boyd got the overwhelming number of votes to be captain. So at this point, I'm probably 160 pounds now, Bernard. I got a little bigger. I'm 160 pounds. And I go out my first game. I go onto the football field for the coin toss. And the referee looks at me. He looks down at me and he says to me, son, I call for the captains, not the mascot. I said, ref, I am the captain. And he's like, you, the captain? And he said, oh, well, he flipped the coin. And by the third play of our offensive series, the ref came up to me and tapped me on the back and said, son, I'm sorry. You are a captain. He said, you're a leader out on the field. That's and awesome. So I think that we have to be willing to challenge each other to live our best life, Brother Plank and Brother Bernard. And we all want to grow, but we don't want to be disrupted. We want to remain comfortable. If you want to remain comfortable, then you become static. Right. But if you want to grow, evolve, and develop and mature, you have to be willing to be vulnerable and be willing to change. Yes, and sir. Sometimes, gentlemen, we got to step out on the limb. So every day of my life, when I played college ball, I stepped out on a limb.
Okay, man, that's an awesome story. Thank you for sharing it with us. And I want to thank all those who are watching Chicago High School Football Legends to hit the subscribe button so we can keep this program going. Hey, Plank, did you have any football questions before we move over to his career? And we're going to try to wrap
one
up.
Question I have for him. I didn't get to see you as a running back. What was your 40 time? I'm trying to picture how you got to this level of greatness and cool breeze and all that. Were you just a speed demon? Were you a shake and bake like Bernard?
On a good day in college, my best 40 time was 4.5. That was my very best time. But the issue was I had the moves of a Barry Sanders. I like Barry Sanders, so I tried to emulate Barry Sanders because he was very agile and extremely quick, and I like the strength that Walter Payton displayed.
So I want to say this. I'm sorry not to interrupt you, but I'm going to say this because it's running back language that you and I both understand. Plank, Carl had great. He was a great open field runner. Carl recognized the field real well. I saw him run a few times, and I was like, man, this guy really could see the field. But he was a great open field runner. He used angles. Like one time when I seen him hit the corner, he just didn't run straight to the corner. It was a skill to it where
you have to set it up
an angle where when I seen him a few times hit the corner, it was like the guys gave up almost because they didn't think they could catch him. but it might not be because he was running so much faster than him. It was just how skilled he used those angles when he got outside to make them feel like, man, I might as well just stop. I'm not going to catch him. I better get him the next play. So, hey, Carl, let's move to your here we got post-college achievements. And hold on, I got LaTanya, if she want to come on, and if your son want to come on. Man, this is awesome. Now, that's a few, man. If I had tried to list all of them, this program would probably go on another 30, 40 minutes. But some of the things I can find, and I just wanted to put it on top of the list, is a husband and a father. I believe I got the year right, 1991, attorney?
Correct.
Okay. Elected to the Hall of Fame, the Northern Iowa, 1998. Elected as a judge, 2012, 2016 and 17 Judicial Council President's Award. That's correct. That's
correct.
Okay. I got 2019 Men of Excellence Award from the Chicago Defender. Also have him listed as the owner of Good Life Soul Food Cafe. And also I had to throw Julian in there. Hall of Fame, Percy L. I'm sorry, I flipped the words. I meant to put Percy
Percy L. Julian Hall of Fame.
Yep.
So I'm actually the curator of the Hall of Fame at Percy Julian.
Okay.
Believe it or not, it's great history that we have at our school. We never had a Hall of Fame. So many years ago, a few of the alums and I started the Alumni Association. But in addition to that, we also began the Hall of Fame. And I thought it was most appropriate that individuals prior to me be inducted into the Hall of Fame because we've had some greats. And we were very conscientious and deliberate about ensuring that that's done. And eventually, every year that we advertise the Hall of Fame, I was always nominated, and I could have won the first year that we introduced the Hall of Fame to Percy Julian High School, but I deferred for many years to ensure that others who I felt planted the seeds were inducted prior to me, as they should have been. So, But yes, I'm very proud to say, humbled to say that I am a member of the Percy Julian Hall of Fame.
Hey, LaTanya, I know I just brought you on. You like, hold on, how I get on camera?
Well, Carl, I'm not surprised.
Did you want to share anything with Carl?
Yes. So I will say that I met Carl at Drake when he was studying law, and I was early in my undergraduate studies at Drake. Carl had a larger-than-life persona at Drake off the field, just like he did on the field for you guys, football, undergrad, and elementary. I love hyper-local Chicago history. Carl is a gem when it comes to the Roseland community. He is so pro-Julian. Not a surprise to me to see him excel as a lawyer and notably as a judge. Very honored to be able to call him a friend. Very delighted that he introduced me to his family. Happy to see them thriving. Anytime there's anything good in Chicago, you can count on Carl having something to do with it. So in closing, I say I'm thrilled to be here to see you get your roses and look forward to what you do next.
Thank you, sister. Appreciate the time. Mm-hmm. Go Bulldogs. Drake is my law school.
All right.
Hey, did y'all have anything else before? I don't know if Taylor want to come on because he has his mic off. So if you want to come on. My
son, Taylor.
Okay, hey, Taylor, I'm going to bring you on. I know you don't have your camera on, but that's okay. Hey, how's it going, Taylor?
Hey, Taylor.
It's his mic.
The mic may be off on your side.
Yeah, his mic's muted, but he got to come and get flowers to Dad. That's how that works.
Yep. So I know he's like, man, Dad, I thought you was exaggerating some of those stories. Hey, what's up, Taylor? Can you unmute yet? Look like he's still muted.
Still muted.
Yeah.
Look down at the bottom.
You let's hope he's not driving the car.
Right.
Yeah.
We trying to lip read, but
Hello, can you hear me now?
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there you are. There you go.
How you doing, brother Bernard? How you doing,
Hey, I'm doing
man?
good.
This is just a beautiful moment, just to hear the history about my dad. It's really motivated and inspiring me, to just continue to strive down the right direction, so I could be an example to the community. And it's beautiful to see. You really don't see stuff like this, in our community on the south side of Chicago, in the Roseland Morgan Park, Pullman area. So it's just great to see that people that walk these same streets, especially my father, it just inspires me to do more and just do better.
Yes. Hey, thank you so much for sharing. I know Pops is proud of you.
Thank you.
Indeed, I am very proud of Taylor.
Uh-huh.
Um, and, and so many great things I want to say about tonight. This is really a spiritual moment for me, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not often that we as Black men can sit down and just honor each other.
Mm-hmm.
We'll turn on the news tonight at 9 or 10 p.m. and all of the negative stories about our community will be broadcast to the public and to the world at large. But programs such as this should be on the news. This is prime time to us.
Mm-hmm.
And this brings value to us, gentlemen.
Yes,
So I'm going to applaud Brother Plank and Brother Bernard for just having this platform. And I'm just so humbled to be a guest on this show because I know you've had some great folks, man, gentlemen. And
yes,
I'm glad to be in that number. And I just want to say that I feel as though I am a reflection of you two men, Brother Keith and Plank and Brother Bernard Muhammad. You guys are leaders in your respective communities as I am in mine, and you lead your families, you lead your friends, and we all lead each other. And so thank you for this program, and thank you for ushering us, elevating us mentally to the next level, and reminding us how great we all are, especially when we come together.
Yes. Hey, thank you so much for those kind words. I see my quarterback, Terrence Cook. He just made a comment. I actually plan to interview Plank. I'm just trying to give a little time because I want too many Limberland people to be on the show. And Cook is lined up for the interview. But it was in the late 90s. I was getting on a metro train and I ran into a car and we were just joking and laugh. I said, Carl, man, I finally seen a running back, man, that might be, man, he might be better than you. And Carl looked at me and said, man, I think he might be Rocky Harvey. I was like,
Rocky
yeah.
Harvey.
And he was
Rocky's
like,
the truth. He was the truth.
I said, Carl.
He was the truth.
Man, I said, Carl, you the best running back I had ever seen on this level, man. I said, man, Rocky.
Rocky was the truth.
I said, I'm about to go see that guy play because I had been reading his stats. And I think you said, man, I already went to see him.
Yeah, I braved cold to see Rocky play. But I will say this in all honesty. Julian has a legacy of having some great running backs. And I felt, even though I played and I received probably the highest accolades of most of the running backs that came through the school, we had some great running backs. I mean, you talking about
what was the guy after you, man? He was
Tony
averaging like 15 yards.
After me, it would have been Walter Brandon.
Walter Brandon. He was averaging like 15 yards a carry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, the list goes on in terms of the great legacy of running backs from junior high. I mean, we bred running backs, and that's what it was. And we make no mistake. We don't even apologize for that. No apologies.
I bring
and
up
no
Rocky
explanation.
Harvey.
That's what we did.
Yeah, I bring up Rocky Harvey because he's going to be our next guest for this interview. Rocky Harvey played for Dunbar High School. I think Plank had mentioned him earlier in the late maybe around 98, 99, somewhere up in there. But anyway, those who didn't know him from high school, Rocky eventually played for the University of Illinois. And I believe his quarterback was Kurt. I don't know how to get those names. But Harvey, he has an interesting story. He was a guy small in stature, like both of us. And Rocky, I saw games where Rocky had 10 carries. He
With
had
how many yards?
180 yards.
Yes.
And I was thinking, like, when I started reading his stats, I was like, if you got like that kind of yards, why would they only give him the ball 10 times? Because the game was over.
Game's over.
Game was over. This
Game
dude
over.
literally
Right.
3 other carries probably was one play I watched this brother. He ran and it was a 50-yard run and there was a holding. They lost 10 and the next play he ran 60 for a touchdown. But anyway, he's our guest coming up. And also Rocky is actually a member of Omega Psi Phi now. And he agreed to come on the program. Like I said, we'll get him in the next week or two. But Planky, if you don't have any, you have any parting words before we shut out Sunday night?
I'm just amazed by the legacy of greatness that's happened at Julian High School. Of course, with both of you brothers being my frat brothers. I wanted to just make a mention of another great man that I came across in the martial arts industry. I ended up stepping in the ring, fighting in the middleweight division. I run into the brother. His name is Michael Hill Muhammad. And he said, yeah, I'm Julian. So we would argue back and forth, Julian Lindblom. It's just amazing how, to your point, iron sharpens iron. And he was one of the people that was very helpful in me getting my martial arts school up. So it's just amazing. Just keep going and keep turning and keep bringing more excellence every time we get an opportunity.
Brother Plank, let me say this, give you a little trivia. Mike Hill and I were, that was my locker partner on the football program. Yeah. Yes, isn't that something?
Yeah, small world.
And so you know Mike's mentality.
Yes, sir.
And so iron sharpens iron. He's another good brother. So we've had some greats at Julian High School. Larry Anderson, Norris Perkins. These are great players. David Underwood came out of Julian High School, became a high school coach here in the city. I mean, and the list can just go on and on and on. But it's programs such as this that help us to bring value and remember and keep us focused, gentlemen. This keeps us focused and keeps us striving for greater and higher levels in our respective lives and careers. So I'm very pleased that you saw fit to invite me to be a guest. I'm humbled. And yes, I am a judge here in the great state of Illinois, thanks to people like yourselves voting for me. And we didn't even touch on that aspect yet. But
you have a what is the term? Re-election, right? Is it re-election?
Yes,
term? Okay. November. Yeah, go and share that with us.
It's not this November. It's November of 2024.
2024, okay.
Right. So hopefully we'll remind your listening audience about that, because that's very important. It's called retention votes.
Retention, okay.
Yeah, it's called retention. And I love to have the support of the listening audience during that retention cycle. So that would be great. Okay. But is there anything else, gentlemen? Are we at the end of our program?
And also I want to note that that's Michael Hill's brother, his younger brother, Talib Muhammad, who said, yes, "Carl, boy, that's my brother." But anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank our guest for the Honorable Judge Carl Boyd for coming on tonight. So enjoy y'all evening. Peace.
Good.